Welcome back. I'm Teresa Garcia, or Amehana Arashi. Today, we are returning to meditative moments for a while, as I desperately need to get back into my meditation practices. And I thought, what better opportunity than to do so and share with you. Also, I'm finally getting around to recording a section that has been long awaited by one of my friends, and I will discuss this chapter after reading it, as well as give my review of this particular book title. So there is a lot of things going on, all in this one video for you, and thank you for sharing your time with me. So the book is The Essence of Shinto, Japan's Spiritual Heart, by Motohisa Yamakage, which I do highly recommend. This is a hard copy, so you will occasionally hear page rustlings, page turnings, and when my fingers stick to the book and such like. Today, we turn to Chapter 6, Koshinto, Theory of One Spirit, Four Souls. And those who know me well know why I am so intrigued by this theory. The philosophy of one spirit, four souls, Ichirei Shinkon. In Koshinto, the philosophy of one spirit, four souls, Ichirei Shikon. In Koshinto, the philosophy of one spirit, four souls, Ichirei Shikon, has been handed down to the modern age. There are some slight differences in character and interpretation among the different Shinto traditions, but the understandings are generally similar to one another. One spirit, Ichirei. This is also called Naohi no Me Tama. The three characters in this word mean straight, Nao, sun, He, and spirit, Tama. Four souls, Shikon. The manifested souls. Ara Me Tama. Ara means rough, wild, unruly, gross, and mitama, soul. Nigi mitama. Nigi means harmony, and mitama, soul. The hidden souls. Sachi mitama. Sachi means happy, and mitama, soul. Kushi mitama. Kushi means mysterious, magical, powerful, and mitama, soul. This concept is the underlying philosophy of the universe, the world of plants and animals and each individual living creature, including all human beings. First, I will present here the Ichirei Shikon of the whole universe. In Yamakage Shinto, the whole universe is called Universe of the Great Cycle, Daikanu. The Great Spirit of the Universe of the Great Cycle, the Four Souls. Kushimitama, the work of the original power stimulating creativity and birth, transforming ideas into actual form. Sachimitama, the work of harmonizing the universe. Nigimitama, the work of controlling the activity of the universe, giving form to generated things and embodying them. The work of making energy permeate all things and give motion to the universe. Ara Mitama, the work of manifesting the individual in the physical world and maintaining the individual organism. The work of destroying everything, causing new life to emerge. We can interpret that the lineage of all kami in the myth of Kojiki and Nihon Shoki also follows the idea of one spirit, four souls. The explanation for that is quite complicated and is shown in the following diagram. Systematic table of Ichirei Shikon. The systematic table of one spirit, Ichirei, 4 souls, Shikon, in the hierarchy of Kami, according to Kojiki, Nihon Shoki. There are 3 columns. 4 souls and 1 spirit, name of Kami, and then the explanation. Naohi no Me Tama is 1 Ame no Mina Kanushi no Kami. Central Kami for everything, that is, the entire circle of the universe. Kushi Me Tama and Ara Me Tama are 2 Taka Mimusubi no Kami. Positive action, the source of all exterior manifestation. Nigi Me Tama and Sachi Me Tama. 3 are Kami Musubi no Kami. Negative action, the source of all interior phenomena. Ara Me Tama. 4 Uma Shia Shikabi Hi Koji no Kami. The generating energy of heaven which descends to earth. Nigi Me Tama. 5 Ame no to Kotachi no Kami. Place for expressions in heaven. These Kami are the first 5 Kami of heaven, separated from all other Kami in rank. The Kami with the numbers 4 and 5 unite heaven and earth with the 2 following Kami. Kushi Me Tama. 6 Kuni no to Kotachi no Kami. Place for expressions on earth. Sachi Me Tama. 7 Toyo Kumono no Kami. The generating energy of earth which ascends to heaven. Through the combined effort of these 4 Kami, 4, 5, 6, and 7, heaven and earth work upon each other. Kushi Me Tama. Uijini no Kami. 8 9 Suijini no Kami. Sachi Me Tama. 10 Sunugui no Kami. 11 Ikigui no Kami. Nigi Me Tama. 12 Otonoji no Kami. 13 Otonobe no Kami. Ara Me Tama. 14 Omodaru no Kami. 15 Ayakashi Kone no Kami. These 8 Kami are involved in the completion of earthly lives. These last 8 Kami above are involved in the completion of earthly lives. Their appearance explains how earth formation is achieved and provides an explanation about how life on earth affects the earth. These last 10 Kami, numbers 6 through 15, are the Kami of earth. Naohi no Me Tama, Ichirei, Kushi Me Tama, and Ara Me Tama. Number 16 is Izanagi no Kami. Nigi Me Tama and Sachi Me Tama. 17 is Izanami no Kami. These 2 Kami are the earthly creators in contrast to the heavenly creators. That is, they are the children given birth by Kami of heaven who have become parents on earth. They are the first descendants from heaven. Kami from Kuni to Kotachi no Kami to Izanagi and Izanami represent 7 generations of the Kami era. Naohi no Me Tama, 18, Izanagi no Omikami. After Misoji, this Kami raised his status and advanced to the rank of Ame no Mina Kanushi no Kami. Naohi no Me Tama, 19, Amaterasu Omikami. This Kami is the manifestation of Ame no mina kanushi no kami. The spirit of Kami also has 4 souls. At the shrine, usually Nigi-Me-Tama is enshrined in the main or inner shrine called Honden, and Ara-Me-Tama is installed in the shrine called Oku-no-Miya, which is located at the back of the main shrine or enshrined in a separate place. This resembles the custom of placing human bones of the dead in the tomb. This bone is the symbol of Ara-Me-Tama, and the enshrinement of the spirit, Nigi-Me-Tama, on the mortuary tablet, Ihai. For in Japan, after a person dies, they are given another name, and this is written on a tablet that the surviving family uses as an object for prayer. Sachi-Me-Tama, Kushi-Me-Tama, and Naohi-no-Me-Tama, each of which is the spirit of that kami, reside in Takama no Hara, which is above and beyond this world. Therefore, during special festival services, it is necessary for us to ask for their descent to be present here and to worship each of these 3. To practice this service, we need to sincerely purify the priest and the believer as well as the shrine and kamizane. Kamizane is a physical representation of kami, such as a mirror in a main shrine. For more information, get a copy of the book and see Chapter 3. It is understood that the idea of one spirit, 4 souls, is inherent in all things. With minerals, Ara-Me-Tama is the predominant influence, whilst with plant and animal life, Nigi-Me-Tama is foremost. As an example, I will present here the plant case as follows. Ichirei Shikon of tree. Ara-Me-Tama, the work of the form of the tree and represents the wooden nature of the tree. Nigi-Me-Tama represents the sap and rosin of the tree. Sachi-Me-Tama, the work of the generative organs of the tree, blooming flowers and bringing fruit. Kushi-Me-Tama, this is the vitality of the tree's growth and the work of expressing the character of the tree. Ichirei Shikon of human being. Ara-Me-Tama governs every organ of the physical body such as the bone, muscle, intestine, etc. Nigi-Me-Tama governs the blood, body fluid, lymphatic fluid, skin, hair, brain, eyeballs, etc. Sachi-Me-Tama balances the body fluids and hormones, the function of sexual desire, senses, and so on, as well as generative energy. Kushi-Me-Tama governs human life. This is the force for generating and transforming human beings through nerves, etc. Functions of body and mind. Bodily functions governed by Ara-Me-Tama and Nigi-Me-Tama. Emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects governed by Sachi-Me-Tama and Kushi-Me-Tama. Ara-Me-Tama, renewal operations and metabolic operations. Emotional operation of rigidity and hardening of the mind and heart. Destructive consciousness, desire of materialistic expression. Nigi-Me-Tama monitors the operation of nerves and muscles and excites and calms. Emotional operation of flexibility, the emotion of stagnation as well as driving desire, the emotion of feeling and touching. Sachi-Me-Tama controls the faculty of the senses and reproductive organs and balances the physical body. The senses, passion, love, harmonious consciousness, desire to study or inquiry. Kushi-Me-Tama, the operation of life energy, which incorporates and integrates external stimuli and mental events, renovating and transforming. The desire to seek mystery, desire for creative contemplation, the ability of intuition and apperception. This idea that there is a spiritual hierarchy contained in the human person is also to be found in the modern mysticism of the West. For example, both the school of Theosophy founded by Madame Blavatsky, 1831 to 91, and the school of Anthroposophy founded by Rudolf Steiner, 1861 to 1925, explain that human bodies exist at the following levels. 1. Physical body. 2. Etheric body. 3. Astral body. 4. Mental body. 5. Causal body. Spiritualism, which flourished in America and England in the 19th century, also incorporated this hierarchy. 1. Physical body. 2. Body double. 3. Etheric body. 4. Subtle body. And 5. Light body. If we try to make a concordance between the concepts of Western mysticism and Ichirei Shikon, it could be done in the following way. Ichirei Shikon, Theosophy, and Spiritualism. 1. Me Tama. In Theosophy, the physical body, and in Spiritualism, also the physical body. Between Ara and Nigi, in Theosophy is the etheric body, in Spiritualism is the body double. 3. The Nigi Me Tama in Theosophy is the astral body, while in Spiritualism it is the etheric body. 4. The Sachi Me Tama in Theosophy is the mental body, but in Spiritualism is the subtle body. And 5. The Kushi Me Tama in Theosophy is the causal body, and in Spiritualism the light body. There is also the traditional Chinese idea of two components of the human soul, Kon and Haku. We can think of the first as corresponding to Kushi Me Tama and Sachi Me Tama, and the second one to Nigi Me Tama and Ara Me Tama. It should be noted here that this theory of Shikon comes from the ancient idea of 4 elements. So there is a theory that corresponds earth to Ara Me Tama, water to Nigi Me Tama, fire to Sachi Me Tama, and air to Kushi Me Tama. The function of Shikon. When Shikon in a human being becomes either too strong or too weak, that person loses his or her natural balance. An imbalance of Shikon results in physical illness, psychological symptoms, personality disorders, or simply behavior that is said to be out of character. Here I shall give an overview of the working of each Me Tama, indicating both its positive qualities and the effects on the individual if its workings are too weak or too strong. Kushi Me Tama. When a person has this quality in abundance, he or she will possess intuitive ability and a strong spiritual sense, along with practical wisdom and the capacity for self-regulation. He or she will think along intelligent lines, be rich in spirit, and also achieve physical equilibrium. A person with balanced Kushi Me Tama can attain mystical powers and use them wisely. He or she can experience apperception and travel to or communicate with the upper-level worlds. If Kushi Me Tama functions too strongly, however, it can induce hypersensitivity or even psychosis. The function of the liver or spleen can become overly sensitive and easily excited, and conditions such as diabetes and high blood pressure can arise. Physical exercise can help us avoid an overabundance of Kushi Me Tama. If Kushi Me Tama is weak, there is a loss of willpower and the capacity for coherent thought and action. Self-perception is reduced, and there are risks of neuroaesthetic conditions or amnesia. A weak Kushi Me Tama is often reflected in a facial expression that lacks energy, a demeanor characterized by lack of emotion and aridity, or meanness of spirit. Recovering from this deficiency is more psychological than a physical process. It involves the development of the mind through intense concentration and the cultivation of a mentality of gratitude, openness, and generosity of spirit. Sachi Me Tama. An abundance of this quality leads to emotional riches and acute sensibility, resulting in an artistic temperament and interests. The person with abundant Sachi Me Tama will make a favorable impression on others and is likely to have refined and elegant taste. When Sachi Me Tama is too strong, the affected person tends to become temperamental or even hysterical. He or she will be driven by passing fancies or transient passions and will become self-indulgent and lustful. When Sachi Me Tama becomes too weak, there is a loss of sensibility, an inability to feel or be moved by anything, and a mood of inertia, giving rise to indolence, lethargy, depression, and insecurity. Sachi Me Tama is sometimes written as Sakihi Me Tama. The word Sachi means happiness, while Saki, with an I, means living or alive. The confluence of these words in Sachi, Sakihi Me Tama shows that this Me Tama is closely associated with the source of life energy. To keep Sachi Me Tama at a balanced level, one needs to develop a good and satisfying social life based on loving and caring relationships with other people. Nigi Me Tama. An abundance of this quality is good for the endocrine system and produces good physical health, reflected in a lithe, youthful appearance and, in particular, healthy skin. A balanced Nigi Me Tama creates a calm, magnanimous temperament and a broad-minded, tolerant attitude to life. When Nigi Me Tama becomes too strong, the affected person tends to overwork or indulge in an intemperate lifestyle. He or she becomes too sensitive and is easily influenced by evil thoughts, malice, or bad vibrations from other people. When Nigi Me Tama is too weak, the affected person ages prematurely in mind, body, and spirit. Ara Me Tama. An abundance of this quality leads to an active metabolism and healthy bones and muscles. It is likely to stimulate a person's athletic interests and prowess, and along with a strong will and increased energy and vitality. It also happens that people with a strong element of Ara Me Tama tend to lose their more graceful manners and assume at times a wild and combative air. This should not be seen as negative in itself, since they share such characteristics with the kami Izumo, Onamuchi no kami, who use them in a positive way. Too much Ara Me Tama leads to a loss of both reason and sensitivity. It triggers a more than normal increase of sexual desire, egotism, and rudeness. When Ara Me Tama is weak, the result is physical sickliness and a weakening of muscles and bones. This affected person loses the desire to be active, physically or mentally, and becomes weak-willed. Negative emotions prevail so that the person comes to regard all activity as troublesome and taxing, and becomes a habitual complainer. Also, the affected person displays a tendency to tell lies without shame. Many types of illness, mental and physical, are created by imbalances of the shikon, or four souls. Yamakage Shinto has an esoteric tradition of medicine, a process of healing based on the rebalancing of the four souls. That knowledge, however, is the subject of another book. The spiritual structure of human beings. Human beings can be seen as having four aspects: physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. These aspects correspond with the four souls in the structure of Ichirei Shikon, one spirit, four souls. However, we should not presume that for all beings the structure of one spirit, four souls, is for everybody one and the same. This structure is for every individual a different one. According to the tradition of Yamakage Shinto, our universe, or the big circle of the universe, is a current of whirling spirits springing out of Daigenrei, Great Original Spirit. In this spiritual current, individuals with their own identity are generated like sparks of energy, which are also manifested as a vortex. The energies of Ara Me Tama and Nigi Me Tama, operating on an unconscious level, cooperate within these entities in order to generate matter. Next, on a conscious level, the energies of Kushi Me Tama and Sachi Me Tama make life appear by joining in the processes initiated by Me Tama and Me Tama. Human beings are seen as an assemblage of 300 to 500 of these sparks of energy. Finally, the human being comes into existence when Naohi no Me Tama, which is the same as Ichirei, meaning one spirit, descends onto this collection of energy particles. In the same pre-scientific tradition, it is said that when a total of 100 to 300 of these energy sparks come together, this will mean the creation of higher-ranked animals. From 50 to 100 will create lower animals. Fewer than 50 will create plants, and fewer than 30 will create minerals. Some human beings can project their bunrei, Wake Me Tama, a part of their own spirit, to a different place. This is possible because human beings are the collective sum of many souls, or Me Tama. When human beings die, their one spirit, Naohi no Me Tama, and two of the four souls, Kushi Me Tama and Sachi Me Tama, go to the other world, while the other two souls, Nigi Me Tama and Ara Me Tama, remain on Earth. They stay there for a while, but eventually they can disappear. Ideally, they can be purified to join Kushi Me Tama or Sachi Me Tama. This idea corresponds to the Chinese philosophy of Taoist hermits with supernatural powers. The higher part of the human soul, or Tama, goes up to heaven, and the lower part, or Haku, goes back to the earth. Here we note a significant difference in the structure of one spirit, four souls of Shinto, and the Chinese concept, which is based upon the dual-layered Konpaku, where Kon is the higher part and Paka or Haku is the lower part of the soul. Death and the theory of four souls. With death, Naohi no Me Tama, Kushi Me Tama, and Sachi Me Tama leave the human body, and Nigi Me Tama and Ara Me Tama remain here in this world. Ara Me Tama governs the physical body, so it disintegrates either with decomposition if buried in the earth, or with burning if it is cremated. Also, negative energy is emitted with the disintegration of the dead body, Ara Me Tama, and this explains the uncleanness of death, Kigare. Nigi Me Tama also goes through a disintegration process, but it sometimes takes more time. One part of Nigi Me Tama remains in this world to become the base for contact between this physical world and the lower astral world, or Yukai. Therefore, in a memorial service for an ancestor, the Nigi Me Tama is the object of worship. So the soul is attached to the memorial tablet is actually this Nigi Me Tama. In the divine celebration words for building up the Izumo nation, it is stated that Okuninushi no Mikoto made the following order to be performed after his death. Project my Nigi Me Tama to Yatano Kagami and call it Yamato no Omononushi Kushimi Katama no Mikoto, and enshrine it at Kanabi in Yamato. In this way, worshipping Nigi Me Tama as the way for worshipping the spirit of the dead is described. Yatano Kagami is the mirror and one of the 3 imperial regalia. In the words used at the ancient Yamakage Shinto funeral service, there is a saying that, "As for the corpse, we respectfully return it to the original great earth of coarse mineral. As for Nigi Me Tama, it remains in this world for a long time. And as for Kushi Me Tama and Sachi Me Tama, we respectfully let them ascend to the high throne of the other world." In the case of an unexpected death, such as a death in a car accident, Ara Me Tama and a part of the Nigi Me Tama of the victim remain in the site of the accident. That place often carries a feeling of attachment, or a grudge or bitterness of the dead person. This feeling can be activated and sensed by any psychic approaching there. The psychic researcher calls the spirit in this condition the spirit chained to earth. This type of spirit in most cases is not the real body of the spirit soul Reikon, rather like the remaining ether, Zanki, if I dare to name it. If this ether is strong, there will be a phenomenon of a ghostly apparition. In such a situation, everything will be restored to normal if we apply appropriate process of purification. In general, now Hino Me Tama, Kushi Me Tama, and Sachi Me Tama move on to the other world, but they do not necessarily go straight to the higher world of Kami, Shinkai. If we can ever talk of Now Hino Me Tama only, Now Hino Me Tama as its own nature can go straight to the world of Kami, since it is pure and bright without any uncleanness. But Kushi Me Tama and Sachi Me Tama, which are attached to Now Hino Me Tama, have some impurity. So Now Hino Me Tama can float only halfway to the higher world. Kushi Me Tama is concerned with the function of thinking and integrating, so it is really wisdom or reason itself. Since Kushi Me Tama still have some impurity, that is to say some heaviness, one cannot gain a cheerful clarity and brightness, seimei, without purifying one's thoughts and knowledge. Sachi Me Tama is concerned with the function of love and sentiment. So here again, one cannot gain clarity and brightness without purification of sentiments and feelings through experience. When these two remain impure, they pull down Hino Me Tama. Therefore, midway to the higher world of Kami, one works on one's own purification to clear sentiments and thoughts in order to be able to eventually advance to that higher spiritual world. In the period immediately after death, the spirit soul remains close to this world, observing how the family is doing, going out to visit friends at their home, or going to worship at a shrine or Buddhist temple. Many are not yet clearly aware of their own death status. Some still retain a part of Nigi Me Tama, so they have a semi-material body and can even make noises. Those who have psychic powers are able to see them. Usually, they will spend a certain period of time, the so-called 49 days in such circumstances. In Buddhism, they call this circumstance Chuyu, meaning existing in the middle. A while afterwards, they become aware of their death and fully move on to the other world, or Yukai. And there ends chapter 6. Now, I do highly recommend purchasing a copy of this book. I forget exactly how I came across it, but it was certainly after getting to speak with Reverend Barish of Tsubaki Shrine, America, through emails and the forum that used to exist on Yahoo, and through Facebook, where it currently is now. I also do recommend to visit there if one can ever manage to do so. Someday I will get to go to Washington and make the visit, make my omairi there. For now, I stay here at the foot of Mount Shasta and make my omairi to Mount Shasta as often as I can. And in my own spiritual practices, which I do desperately need to get back into a more regular schedule with. Now, there are a few things about this chapter that I would like to discuss, and unfortunately I did not write them down as I was reading at the time. But keeping the four souls balanced is a very important thing to do. It requires a lot of self-reflection. So one wonders, where is one out of balance? How does one find it? One has to keep looking inward to discover this. As for the souls being made up of several different particles, I'd like to bring up the concept of concurrent incarnation. And this, in my opinion, is one way in which it can happen, by picking up those sparks that were left behind by others who have returned them to the earth, And those particular sparks going to several different people at once. So several different people could all have memories of being someone else and be both correct and incorrect at once. And going back to the original source of where all these souls come from, well, technically we are all little tiny flames, little tiny mirrors of the source, experiencing life through different perceptions and views. And then finally, and I'll leave that throat clearing in here because it's partly my opinion. My own father has been remaining and going back and forth on this plane for much longer than 49 days after his death. He died December 1st of 2008. I still see him in my doorway sometimes, although I live in a different house than I did at the time. At the time he died, I was living with my parents, staying in my room there so that I could help take care of them as well as for some other reasons. And then after that, I would see him in the apartments that I moved through. And of course now, here at my little cabin in the woods. So I do think the process takes so much longer than 49 days. And I certainly intend to become a guardian kami once I pass on. I've got several people that I have to make sure stay safe. And having things to do is probably why some take so much longer. It's possible to become a kami after one dies. It's a process one begins, but always at a different point in time. And then we have to remember we're all already kami anyway. So what have we lost on the way? What must we reclaim? Again, I do so highly recommend getting a copy of this particular book, The Essence of Shinto, Japan's Spiritual Heart, by Motohisa Yamakage. There are other books on Shinto that I would like to do readings from later on. But for now, I think this is enough. So once again, I'm Teresa Garcia, or Amehana Arashi, and this has been Meditative Moments. If you like these readings, these discussions, the book reviews, please subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of when I make an update. Hit like on the video. Share it with your friends. You can also check out my podcast. The podcast is www.flashfictionfridays.com. That tends more to, of course, the flash fictions, but that exists. And you can support me by, visiting me at my Patreon, www.patreon.com/Amehana, Amehana. And there you can, become a patron, get little perks, help out, get little insiders looks at what I'm up to. Again, until next time, happy reading, and thank you for going with me on this journey for so long.